Welcome back to the workshop. I haven't been in the shop as much recently because I just got a bunch of puzzles to add to my collection and working and doing other things. Did a little painting. So it's that time of year to get back into the shop. I have been working on puzzle box 10. Here's puzzle box 10. It is almost finished. And so I hope to, this is a gift, so it'll be sent to the recipient and they'll solve it before I put a solve video out. But of particular interest are these little column-like things that I put on the corners, on the ends of it. They were made using this little carving block or carving hold that I made. Now it's very similar to another thing that I had shown, the narrow hold. It uses the same concept as that, but it's on a smaller scale. So I'll show you kind of how I made it. It's very simple, but it works for my needs. There are a lot of carving jigs and holds that you can make or buy, but for my needs for this project, as well as for Puzzle Cabinet 4, which I'm still haven't even really started on, but I will at some point once this is finished. I'll need this for that. So this is very similar to the narrow hold. I had done a video on this. Not my original idea. Somebody else had created this and put it in a magazine, Popular Woodworking or Fine Woodworking, one of the two. This idea, you put something in there and as it slides, it clenches it and you can plane it or whatever you want to do. For this one, I wanted to do something like this but for a smaller stock. And I do have additional pieces that I can put in here to make 1/4 inch pieces, to do down to a 1/4 inch stock. That is something that I added to this for making the tea chest, which is technically Puzzle Cabinet 2, but it's based on Michael Pagovich's tea chest, so I didn't take any credit for actually creating anything new. It was his design and build. I just did some secret stuff to the bottom drawer. But I did modify this for doing that, but I needed something a little more exact for this next project that I'm doing. So just like this one, it starts with just a piece of plywood. You could also use pine, you could use whatever. I find plywood is better because plywood, though it will warp over time, for this purpose is a pretty solid piece. And so starting with piece, in the same case here, piece of plywood, square, good solid surface. This is just this is scrap. This is a piece of pine, and this is a piece of I believe poplar wood. From you can see the sticker. You can see where the sticker was when you buy a big box store. They put a stupid sticker on there, and you peel it off, and there's residue. It's ridiculous. So anyway, this is from a slat that was used for another project. And I didn't even glue it down. Well, this one is glued. This is my primary, so this is glued in place and then reinforced with, I think, probably 3/4 inch number 8 wood screws. This one, I don't believe that this was glued down. It's just put in place at a particular angle. I'm not sure that the angle is important as long as you work it, your pieces will not keep going. So you want to make sure they do stop because you're going to need it for the force that you're going to give to it. And then this is just put in. I drilled for 3 holes, but I've only put 2 wood screws in. There is a chance for a third if I need it, but I don't think I will. And then again, like I said, this piece, just a scrap piece of pine attached with, this is probably 1 inch wood screws, number 8. So let's get a piece of wood, put it in there, and I'll show you how it works. So here's a piece of Purple Heart. You know, if you've been with this channel long enough, you know this is all left over from the Parthenon project. 2 big pieces of Purple Heart. I bought it at Woodcraft in Nashville on a trip and built the Parthenon from, but I had a lot of scraps left over, and here's one of them. So I've got this thing. It's in my vise. That way I don't have to worry about it moving around on the table. Now, yes, you could put this in a vise. You could put it just in the vise and work it directly, although with the sharp tools I'm using, I don't want to be messing up my vise mouth any more than I have to. I've got smaller vise, I have machine vices and smaller object vices that I could use, but again, for some of the carving that I'm doing, it's not enough. So, I've got my piece, I've got this other piece, and I may or may not even need it. Sometimes I could use a different piece. This is a pretty wide, there we go. Get that in there. Let's use, there's different, this is just using a standard bench chisel to kind of start it off. Most of the work that I did on these pieces, I used smaller chisels or gouges. So that's using a standard chisel. Let's get out, there we go. This is a gouge from that set that I got from Harbor Freight. I did a video on those. Found them to be less than stellar quality, but that's what we have. Actually, a friend of mine said that this particular metal, though not sharp at first, will get better over time. And so, I believe he is right in that. I have found that once I've sharpened it, these gouges are working a little better. Purple Heart is not a softwood. Not at all. If you've worked with Purple Heart, you know Purple Heart can be very unforgiving. So we also have a wood direction situation here that we have to be aware of. This is a piece of oak I'm going to use. Get a little more. There we go. And mainly, with this thing, I'm mainly working on one side. Now, of course, there is a desire for the piece to move up as I work it. So, there's a drawback. But not too much of one. And if you've seen my other videos, you know I'm still a beginner at carving. So I'm not a carving master here, just a hobbyist who wants to incorporate some carving in his next piece. And it could be, you think, well, you're working with too small a piece. You have to get bigger pieces. And most people would be working with a much larger piece, but I'm working small on these projects. This is a crab mallet that I bought at a kitchen supply store years ago and used for woodworking. Sometimes I need it. Okay. Well, there you go. You can see that it is forming that curve, that chamfer, like I had on the pillars on Puzzle Box 10. Again, this is a small-scale operation, nothing too fancy, but it is helping with some of the work that I'm doing. I will probably make other carving jigs to help with some of the other type things that I'll be making for Puzzle Cabinet 4, but this is a good start for a shop on a low budget. Okay, so that is my small carving jig, just for small pieces, just for specific uses here in the shop.